Welcome to this demonstration video. In this video I'll be taking you through the footfall dashboard from a clinician, nurse or other healthcare professional's perspective. For administration roles, please see the other dashboard overview video. In order to access your dashboard, you'll need some login details, and these will be set up by one of the dashboard administrators in your practice. You'll be able to log in using either your username or NHS email address. You can see you're also able to reset your own password from here. You just need to select the forgotten password link to receive an email to reset your password. When logged in, you also have the option to reset your password by selecting your name at the top right. Passwords must be secure and contain a mixture of uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols. If for whatever reason you can't reset your password yourself, one of your dashboard administrators will be able to do this for you. As a clinician, nurse or healthcare professional, you will have a slightly different view of the dashboard to that of your administration staff. Your administration staff will have access to administrative features of the dashboard such as KPIs and setting up users. And they'll also see every patient request that comes through to the dashboard. Depending how your practice is set up, these administration roles will usually review the requests initially and then assign any patient requests out to either specific nurses or GPs to look at, or they can assign it to a group of GPs, nurses or maybe pharmacists to triage between the group. So the only requests you'll see on your dashboard are requests that have been assigned to you or that have been assigned to a group that you are included in. For example, if you're a GP, you might be included in the group of doctors, and if you're a nurse, you might be included in the group of nurses. If you specialise in a certain area or tend to deal with certain requests, you may decide that it would be beneficial for you to have access to particular forms as they are submitted by patients. In which case, a dashboard administrator can set this up for you. This would mean you'll be able to see these requests as they come through to the dashboard, rather than wait for a request to be triaged to you. Let me explain what we can see here. Whichever work list you're looking at, you will see these columns underneath, which gives us information about the patient request. Each form will be assigned an episode ID. You can see the type of request that has been received, when it was received, the patient details, and these red exclamation marks show us the request has been marked as urgent by somebody in the practice. The status of the request will either be new, parked, waiting or closed. The request will remain new until the status has been changed. The note column will show us any notes associated with the request and will also give us any information that is associated to a breach. I'll talk you through what a breach is in a minute. You can also see an action required by column. This will indicate how long we have to deal with a request before it is overdue, and it will show you a date and time of when the request is due by. At the top of the page you can see the work list names and some numbers underneath, and these act as buttons. Each of these buttons at the top represents a work list, and clicking on these will change the view of the request that you see underneath. You can use these to navigate through the different work lists, or you can use the tabs underneath. The tabs underneath will show you some work lists that aren't included in the buttons at the top of the page, and these are your personal work list, recently closed and assigned summary. Your work list queue includes any requests that are associated to you. These will be requests that have been assigned to you, or requests that you've assigned to someone else to look into, but the request has been breached. By breach we mean we have set an alert against a request. This is either done when assigning to another member of the team or when parking or waiting a request. We can attach an alert to the request, and when the alert expires, if there's been no action on the request, the system will bring this back into your work list for attention. This is really useful so that you can take the necessary steps to follow up the request. In a nutshell, the work list shows you all the requests that you are responsible for. The New tab will show you any new requests that have been assigned by the administration staff for either you or your user group to look into. As you can see in this example, if we open it up, the receptionist team have assigned it to the group doctors. Parked will show you any requests that have been placed into the parked queue by you or anyone in your user group. Waiting is where a request has been placed into the waiting work list because we're waiting for something from the patient. This could be a reply, or for example, if the patient was registering but needs to come into the practice to provide ID. All Open will show you all open requests that have been assigned to either you or your group, and these can be in any of the new, parked or waiting work lists. Patient and Red shows you any patient requests that you or your group have responded to, but the patient hasn't read yet. Recently Closed will show you a list of requests that have been dealt with and therefore closed by practice staff. Assigned Summary shows you an overview of assigned requests and who they have been assigned to. Here at the top of the page we have the search function, where you can search through any one of these fields for a patient request. Notifications will remind you of any impending video appointments that you have booked in. If you have a video appointment booked with a patient, you'll receive a notification reminder in here 5 minutes before your video appointment is due to take place. In here you can choose to access the video appointment by clicking View, or you can clear the notification. Then we have the menu on the left where we can create patient forms. This can be used to create requests or complete forms on the dashboard where the patient doesn't use the front end of Football. For example, if you're on the phone to a patient and they need to submit a request, you could do this for them. These requests will then come through to the dashboard as a new request, exactly as it would if the patient had submitted it online. It will record your user details as the proxy details so we can see how the request has been submitted. Form Options allows you to search for patient requests by form. However, this will only show you results where you have been given specific access to that form. Video appointments is where you can view and join any booked and scheduled video appointments that have been booked in. And this is where you can send patients a direct link into a video appointment through On Demand. Take a look at the video appointments tutorials for more information on this. Reports shows you data relating to the type of requests received per month, patient survey responses, the number of requests received by hour and weekday, and the age of patients submitting online requests. To look at how you might deal with a patient request and the different actions on a patient request, look at Dealing with a Patient Request for Clinicians and Other Healthcare Professionals tutorial